Before I came to the ranch, I was caught up with drug addiction. I was caught up with just self-hate, hate for the world, hate for myself, hate for my family.
I was an ex-gang member from the city of Pico Rivera. Before I came to Christ, man, I was just party a lot. I worked a lot in the club, so I already knew all the right people, to have a good time. My Friday was pretty much every day of the week.
It wasn't good because I didn't have a father in my life.
I was a drug addict, and I got clean off of meth. I started drinking heavily. Nothing in my life was good. I was basically going downhill really fast.
The only way I can really describe it is a roller coaster. I've always battled with addictions here and there and just unforgiveness. And I'd get better and I'd get worse, get better, get worse for years and years.
I was full of lies. I was in a world where I couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Man, I was lost, man. I was out there, barely got out of prison, messing up my family all over again.
My before Christ days were not good.
I was addicted to meth for about 15 years and basically ran around, running amok my whole life, getting in trouble.
I was in a dark place. I was heavy drug use in and out of prison.
After I lost my dad, I didn't really care much after that.
I was lost in methamphetamine. I lost my, basically losing my child.
When I came back to the Lord, I was just broken. I had long hair. I was a punker. I used to go to mosh pits. I used to do hardcore drugs. I used to skateboard everywhere I went. I was 100 pounds less. Living with people, couch to couch, doing it for years, for like a decade.
The days before Christ, man, I remember, just being a lost person, young and just bound to a drug that all it did was take away all my emotions, filled me with anger,
I was on parole, on GPS, in and out of prison, in and out of jail, into drugs, selling drugs with my husband, Man, everything got taken from me, including my husband.
The age of 18 is the first time I go to prison, and I started being involved in drugs and gangs, and I do things I'm not supposed to.
I struggled a lot with insecurities and I hated myself, I hated my life.
I would hurt, steal, do anything I had to do to get my next fix.
I just remember being broken, lost, hurting. I did drugs.
I really didn't think too much of my life. I thought it would pretty much end at a very, very early age.
I remember I was sitting in a park one day, and it was early in the morning. I was up, for days, and my life was flashing before my eyes, and how I got here so quick. I remember thinking to myself, like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
I went outside across the street to the park, and I started talking to God and told him that I needed help because I see no hope in sight. There was nothing there for me.
I was feeling really sick and I hallucinated the whole night before. I was just so exhausted, I began to cry. And then I knew exactly who to go to, so I cried out to God and I told God, man, I know that this is you.
I was really broken because I told God, I was like, God, if you're real, you need to get me out of my situation.
You saved my father, my mother from where they were, so I know that you're real. And if you take me out of this place, I'll serve you for the rest of my life.
Romans 8:28 says that God uses all things for the good, for those who love him and are called according to his purpose. And God used that dependency to bring me here,
It wasn't something I decided. They mentioned to me that I was getting transferred to the ranch. To me, I felt like, oh no, not the ranch, anywhere but the ranch.
What did I get myself into? What did I get myself into? I was like, man, this is it? This is the ranch?
Where am I at? There's a bunch of gang members here. Am I in the right place?
I felt like I was getting kidnapped or something because all you see is desert, but when I seen hope though.
I drove up and 10 of these women came out like, oh, you want me to help you with your bags? I'm kind of like, no, I got my own stuff, and
When I first got here to the ranch, I felt the peace of God.
I was driving and I remember looking out. I remember looking out the window, in the sky and being like, man, God, if you can't help me now, if coming to this place is not gonna help me get my son back, help me get me in my right mind, then I don't know what else I can do. This was the last hope that I had.
How can I say this without breaking? How can I say this without taking over? How can I put it down into words when it's almost too much for my soul alone?
I went to court for my children. I lost my parental rights. I lost my kids. They got adopted to their grandmother. After that, I lost hope. Even though I was in the home, I couldn't see myself being able to overcome it. I started to lose my faith.
I wanted to leave, and I even thought, like, man, I'm selfish for being here, you know, like, they need me, my mom needs me.
I kept praying that, Lord, can you take this pride from me? Take this pride, because that pride is pushing everyone in my life away.
It was a trial for me to just commit and say, hey, I'm gonna be here. You know, so many times I wanted to leave, and you know, is my time up, is my time up? And once I made that commitment, then everything started to come against me. And so, you know, I had a lot of trials, you know, at the ranch, but, you know, thank God that he kept me.
My anger was something that took over me, you know. My anger would cause me not to talk to people, to blow up on people.
I'm so grateful for, like, all the women in the home, because one of the sisters, she came to me and she told me, like, your prayers can do more than your presence can.
One of the things that I've learned is just to fully trust God. Just know that He has everything under control.
That prayer closet really changed my whole perspective on things.
Battle for my son. It was rough, man. They told me I would never see him. I thought I would never see him again. And, you know, by the grace of God and a whole lot of prayer, you know, I'm able to see him now. We have a relationship now. Same thing with my mother and my father, my sister, and just family members of bridges I burnt that I never thought would be restored again. I can call my family now and they'll answer.
This year meant
It meant that my life's gonna be somewhat normal again.
I can honestly say it was absolutely changed.
it really put me in a perspective to where now I can make a decision that I'm going to serve God for the rest of my life.
It made me to the man of God that I am today, a better husband, a better father.
This year has meant a lot for me as far as finding myself, finding who I really am. It meant freedom to me.
A new beginning, a fresh start.
And for me, it meant like a whole new transformation in my life.
This year meant completion, man, because I never graduated high school, I never graduated anything. And this is, you know, me graduating something, completing something finally in my life.
He's giving me greater faith, you know, to keep holding on to those promises that he's giving me, to bring my son back into my life. I'm going to keep fighting, and I'm not going to let go of those promises that God has given me.
You know, he's my all. He is the great I am.
God is peace. I'm at peace with who I am today because of God.
God control my life because I know I belong to God. With God, I'm nobody.
God is my strength.
God is my everything. He's my all. Without God, I'm nothing.
I love the ranch. I love the dirt. I love the humbleweeds. You know, I love the goats. I love the horse. I love everything about the ranch. The ranch helped to shape and mold me. The ranch was part of my process. Just everything about the ranch, I could say it was great.
I really like how the ranch is open so that we could build on the ranch, really leave a footprint, thumbprint of our own.
Here on the ranch, you can really learn how to be equipped and be a prayer warrior and to be someone that puts other people before yourself.
The ranch is hope. It's hope for those people that are out there that are still lost, don't know how to find their way back home.
The ranch is the place where you're gonna be an arrow in your pastor's quiver.
I never experienced the presence of God the way that I've experienced it here at the ranch.
The ranch is a life-changing experience.
It's a place where you need to be, you know, where if you really need God, you know, you're willing to give up everything for change. The ranch is the place to go.